So in botany we are having virus are non-living or living. First of all, I will tell you the structure of a virus. This is the capsid in which the DNA material, or we can say genetic material, is present. This is a DNA or RNA. It can be formed in DNA or the RNA. This is the envelope. And this is a protein molecules. Here this is a capsid in which the DNA and RNA is coated, and here this is the envelope outside of the capsid, and this is the protein molecules. Now first we will listen. This is a living, how it's living, in which condition this is living. First we are having reproduce. So here I will make one structure of virus. This is a virus, and here also. Now this is a bacteriophage. Bacteriophage. The name bacteriophage was given because it's causing bacteria. It's causing bacteria. And this is another virus. Now this is a virus, how it will reproduce itself when this genetic material of this bacteriophage will enter in this in its genetic material, and it will make their copies. Here it will make copies. It will make copies. If I tell the virus cannot make its copies in its own genetic material, it will make its copies in its host cell. Now here is a bacteriophage. This is a bacteria. This is a bacteria. Here the genetic material will enter in this bacteria, and it will make thousands of copies itself. So if we can say this can be reproduced, but in the host cell. If we write here, it can reproduce in host cell body, not in its own genetic material, its own body. It can reproduce in host cell, not its own body. So we can say it can reproduce, but in the host cell. Now another we are having homeostasis. We can see the homeostasis will occur in the virus or not. As we know what is homeostasis, it is process of inner change. It's a process of inner change in cell body. So if I tell a virus is not having cellular structure, virus is not having cellular structure, means virus is having genetic material, but it's not having any cell or a cellular structure. It's not having, so it can in the virus the homeostasis maybe not happen, because it's a process of inner change in the cell, but it's not having cell. Virus is not having cell, so homeostasis will not occur in this process. Now another is metabolism. What is metabolism? It refers to chemical and physical reactions. It refers to chemical and physical processes to convert and to use energy, which means metabolism means it refers to chemical and physical processes to convert and to use. And if we take a human example, breathing, it's a metabolism activity. Circulating of blood in a human body, that's a metabolism activity. But as I told, that it can reproduce only in the host cell, it cannot reproduce in its own body cell, so it is not having metabolism process. It can reproduce in host cell body. Yes. Another we are having, that is heredity or of traits. Now what is heredity of traits? If we talk about human body, we are having eye color, that is a trait that is in our heredity. Eye color, our hair color, our hair type, that is in the heredity or of traits. Now is virus having heredity? As we know, it's having RNA or DNA, which means it's having genetic material. So in this genetic material, the one process is gonna happen in virus, that is mutation. It is doing one process that called the mutation. Now what is mutation? In process of mutation, it will change its RNA and DNA, which means in process of mutation, the virus is doing mutation process. In this mutation process, it can change its RNA and DNA. As we see, it is going in another host body cell and it's reproducing itself. So that process is called mutation, means it's doing mutate. Now another we are having, that is genetic recombination. Now we are having genetic material, as I already make figure. So these are two virus, and this is, and that, as we can see, it's having different genetic material, and it's also having different genetic material. And if we can see, this virus is having both genetic materials. So now what virus is gonna do, it will pick both of these genetic materials. Pick both genetic material. Pick both virus genetic material. So now it's become recombinant. And having two genetic materials. Now here we are having, if I told again, here we are having two genetic material, different genetic materials, and here we can see this one virus is having both of these genetic material. It will gonna pick both of these genetic material in its genetic material, pick both of these genetic virus material, then it's become recombinant and having two genetic material. How it's making copies in its genetic material by the process of genetic recombination. Now we are having non-living. In non-living, first we are having that is crystallization. What is crystallization? It's an inactive form. It's an inactive form of virus when it comes outside the host body, which means it is an crystallization. Crystallization is an inactive form of virus when it comes outside of the body, outside of the host body. It will make crystals, means it will form crystals. It will form crystals, which means it is nothing when it comes outside host body. Which means it is nothing when it comes outside of the host body. It will form crystals. So that is we can say it's a non-living when it's come outside of the host body. Now another we are having that is cellular structure. Now what is cellular structure? As I told before, they do not have cellular structure. They do not have cellular structure. Now if we see a human cell or a living cell, here's the nucleus. Here we are having nucleus. Here we are having ribosomes and another many things in a living cell. This is a living cell, and here we will make a structure of virus. Here this is a capsid, this is a genetic material, and here the protein molecules. Here we are having protein molecules. Now if we can see, this is a cell of a living body, and this is a virus. It's having nucleus, ribosomes, and many other things in a living cell, and it's not having any cell, it's only having genetic material, and it's coated with a capsid, and here we are having protein molecules, and this is an envelope. So this virus is not having cellular structure.